Gladiator Arena, Los Angeles, California, alive with the sights and sounds of athletic competition. The American Gladiators are ready and pumped up, ready to take on America's best contenders. Mike Adamley along with Larry Zonka.
Looks like a great show today. We have one of our contenders, a stuntman. You're looking at him, Bernie Miller.
He'll be going against Vince Granger, and let's hope that these two contenders aren't easily intimidated. Standing in Bernie and Vince's way are three gladiators, Turbo, Cyclone, Laser. They are determined. Vince Granger, 30 years old from Silver Spring, Maryland. He actually lost in the preliminary round to Jason Yao, but got a second chance coming on in replace of the injured Jimmy Eccles. Bernie Miller, 31 years old from Vista, California. Actor and stuntman, as you mentioned, Larry. He advanced to the second round by defeating Don Marcus Bailey. Powerball, again, the game of 45 seconds of non-stop action. Goals in the outer cylinders worth 3 points. A goal in the center cylinder worth 5. Powerball is brought to you by the Nintendo Entertainment System, makers of Super NES. Now you're playing with power. Super power.
Contenders ready! Gladiators ready!
Oh, Bernie real quick.
Oh, Bernie meets up with two gladiators right away. Vince trying some double and triple moves.
30 seconds to go. Communication the key for the Gladiators. It's easy to get lost in all the bodies out there. Laser, Turbo, and Cyclone doing an excellent job so far. 10 seconds to go. Bernie, oh yeah, kind of put Turbo to sleep there. Little hesitation move, and that is it. All in all, a fine match all the way around.
Vince Granger obviously a little dismayed, did not score a point. Bernie Miller, on the other hand, comes away with 12. This was a very physical contest. Vince found out early as two gladiators double up on him and take him to the mat.
But this is just the beginning. There are 7 more events to come.
The Samuel Goldwyn Company presents the American Gladiators.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Mike Adamley along with Larry Zonka. Glad you could join us as our trip down the road to the Grand Championship continues. And one thing's for certain, Larry, there is no shortage of athletic talent on the part of our contenders.
No way, Mike. As a matter of fact, among our female contenders, we have a world-class track and field athlete.
Well, we're about to find out if blondes do have more fun in Powerball. Our trio of gladiators, all blonde and all bombers. Siren, Sky, and Electra. For the contenders, Brenda Moss, 27 years old from Amarillo, Texas, a dental office manager who advanced to the second round by defeating Julie Padelford. Her opponent, a good one, Cheryl Wilson, 25 years old, a 5-time track and field All-American at LSU. She came on to the second round by defeating Melissa Lieberman in the prelims.
Contenders ready! Gladiators ready!
There she goes, and Brenda actually off to a good start too, but that one rimmed off the cylinder. Brenda with a lot of firepower.
Siren, do the head. You're out. I understand it's not on purpose.
Siren going a little high. As a result, Larry Thompson right there to make the call. She is evicted.
So with 2 contenders now remaining, the advantage swings to the side of the contenders. Electra and Sky will have the work cut out for them because 32 seconds remain in Powerball, and this is a difficult chore, 2-on-2 for the Gladiators. It could turn into a track meet.
Contenders ready! Gladiators ready!
Mike, if you're a gladiator, how do you play it? Man-to-man or zone?
Got to play it man-to-man. But with Cheryl Wilson, I don't think any technique's going to work. She was the world-class track and field athlete we were telling you about, a 5-time track and field All-American at LSU. And she is putting on quite a show.
Not only does she have the speed, She's also got the moves, and she's one tough gal on top of that.
Brenda Moss also doing a fine job, but the speed of Cheryl Wilson just too much for our two Gladiators. Cheryl wins at 28-15.
Now remember, we're in a 2-on-2 situation. Cheryl sees the open cylinder while Electra turns around and tries to get to the coverage. But Cheryl's elusive enough to get away and score in that far cylinder. Now Electra's mad, but like a cat, she quickly gets back, but actually overcompensates a little, giving Cheryl the split second of daylight to the center cylinder. You can see Electra in her desperation actually collides right there with Sky and gives Cheryl the opening and 5 points.
In the game of Powerball, there is no substitution for quickness and speed. Cheryl Wilson quite obviously has an abundance of both. And Brenda Moss wasn't bad either. We are ready now for the next event, the Joust, hand-to-hand combat with military pugil sticks. And a look at the cheering section of Bernie Miller from San Diego, California. Bernie with that big 12-0 lead after his effort in Powerball. How did he train for this? Firsthand, actually. He set up 2 jousting platforms, had the old football helmets, made a couple of jousting sticks. He was ready to go. Let's see if it pays off. Unfortunately, he draws Turbo 12-4 in this event. 30 seconds the time limit to knock the Gladiator off the platform. If Bernie can do that, it's worth 10 points.
Turbo lands that first one. Whoa, look at Turbo, left-to-right combination.
Bernie, great job there for a second. He ducked, and then he counter-punched, gave a shot to Turbo's midsection. Turbo didn't budge.
No, he just shrugged it off and swept him with a smash overhand from the right.
Well, the door is now open for Vince Granger. He won in the prelims in his only other jousting effort. If he can get the 10, he's right back in this thing.
Turbo unleashing a barrage, but getting off balance. He's regained it. That overhand smash again, right to the head of Vince, and off he goes.
Turbo, they love you here at Gladiator Arena, especially in this event, the Joust. What's your secret up there?
Oh, secret is strike fast, strike hard, and hope that they can't retaliate.
Well, there was no opportunity for retaliation for Vince once this overhand right caught him on the jaw.
Well, Zap is ready, and so are our female contenders. First up, Cheryl Wilson. We saw how quick she was on her feet in Powerball. Let's see how quick she is with the pugil stick in her hand. Again, 30 seconds the time limit.
Cheryl's got to be keenly aware when Zap looks away from her and tries to bring that roundhouse just like that. There it is.
What's really, and Cheryl loses her stick. She hit Zap pretty good, but in the process, the concussion rattled her hands and she lost her grip, so no points for Cheryl Wilson.
Zap just sort of sizing things up, looking for that opportunity to do that backhand that she's famous for, and here it comes right there, and hooks the pugil stick.
So now Brenda Moss will get her shot. Excelled in basketball and track back in high school in Texas. Her brothers got her to try out for the show, this competition. Imagine they're mighty proud of her now. She actually has an advantage over Zap in height.
Zap trying to get lined up to use that backhand. Brenda doing a pretty good job of defensing that maneuver.
She does have to make an effort to attack. Our referee Larry Thompson warning Brenda about that. Now she's sort of pawing at Zap. The crowd counts down the time, and Brenda Moss has defended her way, we should say, to a draw. It wasn't pretty, but we don't give points for style. The wall is next. Event number 3 here at Gladiator Arena, the wall. In the second round match between Cheryl Wilson and Brenda Moss, there's the scoring rundown. The wall, the contenders have 60 seconds to make it up without being pulled off. If they can do that, it's worth 10 points. Cheryl Wilson, we talked about her track and field exploits of yesteryear. Today, she is a cardiac exercise rehabilitation technician. Contenders in the second round given a 15-second head start.
Both Storm and Electra are very good at this event. Of course, with this 15-second head start, they'll be testing their ability a little bit.
This is Cheryl Wilson's first crack at our wall. It wasn't an event in her preliminary round victory over Melissa Lieberman. Here come the Gladiators. Electra closing in a hurry. Down goes Cheryl Wilson. Here comes Storm moving in on Brenda Moss.
Oh, Storm's got a hold of a foot.
Now an ankle.
Brenda strong.
But not that strong, Larry, I don't think. 20 seconds left. And down she goes, so Cheryl Wilson and Brenda Moss get shut out. But that was a pair of outstanding climbers in Storm and Electra.
Both of our contenders have a good head start. Covered some ground, but again, like you alluded to, Mike, it's just the quality of our Gladiators.
The men are set to try their hand at the wall. Bernie Miller with the 12-0 lead on Vince Granger.
Just kind of mess with them a little bit, you know? Let them think about my hand up there.
I get no respect around here.
It's Tower's mission to pull him off, and Bernie Miller, our stuntman, and just about everything else. Bernie is definitely a California dude. He spends most of his time doing California things like working out, surfing, and cycling. But one thing he does is more south side of Chicago than Surf City.
I've always loved music. Music is part of my life, and I'd never want it not to be a part of my life.
Bernie is also trying to break into show business as a stuntman. But now he works for a company that sells fitness equipment, a job he takes seriously.
If I could just get a couple more people a day involved in just thinking about fitness and thinking about doing something to help their cardiovascular endurance, I think everybody's going to live a little bit happier life.
And it looks like Bernie himself has found that happier life.
And my own life philosophy is no stress, work out, and whatever happens in life, it ain't that bad.
I kind of like that philosophy.
Live a long time with it.
Again, they get the 15-second head start.
And they're going to need every bit of it. They haven't covered much ground at all.
Tower and Viper just chomping at the bits, waiting to go. Here they come.
Well, the two contenders opened up a little bit of a lead as Vince Granger loses his grip with his right hand, swings free. Bernie's about 2/3 of the way up the wall.
He's got a free climb with just under 30 seconds to go. He's hung up for a second. Now he reaches the top. And he has made it with room to spare. Yeah! Life without stress pays off, Larry.
Vince doing a good job. He gets a little ahead of himself here. Ends up holding on with just one hand and then loses his grip. And off he comes. Tough break for Vince Granger.
And Bernie will return to earth with the knowledge that he now has a 22-0 lead after 3 events. Atlasphere is next. A look at Viper getting set for the rage in the cage. It's Atlasphere, event number 4 here in the second round match, where the contenders have 60 seconds to try to score as many times as they can in one of the 4 numbered scoring pods. Viper will be joined by Tower. And a look at Vince Granger, a 4-year rugby star at Towson State University back in 1983 in the state of Maryland. But right now, he is trailing Bernie Miller by 22 points. Tower and Viper are banging bruised brothers. Here they come. Whoa, does Viper rock Vince Granger. Bernie slides off Tower's hit, going for pod number 1. Tower cuts off the angle. Here comes Vince. Oh, just missed that scoring sensor. 35 seconds left on the clock. Bernie Miller, who's got a huge contingent of fans down behind scoring pod number 4, where he's about to get in. He can't do it.
Both contenders having a lot of trouble settling into the center of that pod in order to score.
20 seconds left.
Vince coming off a little bit of a pick action there. Turbo says no.
Now 10 seconds. Gladiators on their way to perhaps their first shutout. And they've got it. Tower and Viper do the trick. No points for either contender.
Well, it's not only tough to get this Atlasphere moving, it's also tough to control it, to get into that scoring pod. As you see Vince Granger unable to throw his body and score the points. Tower giving Bernie Miller the same lesson.
Well, let's see, Larry, if our female contenders are any more successful. Cheryl Wilson at the moment with an 8-point lead on Brenda Moss. For the Gladiators, our dynamic duo this time around will be the Zapster and her partner Siren. And Siren happens to be the subject of our Ask a Gladiator segment. Howard Weinberg from Miami Beach, Florida writes, "Dear Siren, don't you feel you are at an extreme competitive disadvantage being deaf? What about Atlasphere when you can't hear contenders coming up from behind you?"
Hi, Howard. I don't at all feel at any kind of disadvantage because of my hearing loss. In fact, I feel it is an advantage to me. I can focus more. I don't hear people screaming and hollering and calling my name and the audience going, that's not there for me. So all I'm thinking about is playing a good game, paying attention what's going on, and being the best I can be while I'm out there.
Roll some mountains.
Listen to the sounds of silence. That's a pretty interesting perspective on the part of Siren. Cheryl Wilson will try to get her legs motoring to get that Atlasphere moving, and will Brenda Moss.
Contenders ready. Gladiators
60
ready.
seconds the time limit. Siren and Zap hungry to put a big hit on our two women. And somebody about to hear the call of Siren. Actually, Siren couldn't make up her mind who to go for. Brenda Moss, the recipient of that gift. She scores not once but twice in the first 15 seconds.
Obvious miscommunication between our Gladiators is going to pay off in a couple of scores for Brenda Moss.
Cheryl Wilson gets one in scoring pod number 1. Brenda Moss all alone in 4 but can't capitalize. 30 seconds. Zap trying to back up and back into Brenda. Here comes Brenda at 2. She scores. Cheryl gets one in 3. Now can she get one in 4? Yeah. I think we're all tied up. 3 goals apiece. 15 seconds to go. Get every goal worth 3 points. Here's Cheryl Wilson. She's got another one. And possibly a 5th. Yeah. Brenda gets a 4th there. These two contenders have wore our Gladiators out.
Scoring frenzy.
Each woman, Brenda Moss and Cheryl Wilson, score 5 goals worth 15 points apiece.
These girls were scoring everywhere. A shot of Brenda Moss coming down when Siren makes that wrong move. She scores in pod number 2, but then utilizes that breakaway option. Goes all the way down to pod number 1, picking up another score.
Incidentally, if you'd like to write Siren or any of our other Gladiators, write to Ask a Gladiator, 10203 Santa Monica Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, 967. At 6 feet 3 inches tall, Sky can peer over that barrier on her assault cannon. But for this game, she'll be content to stay behind it and out of harm's way. Cheryl Wilson up first, currently enjoying an 8-point lead on Brenda Moss. Competed in the Olympic trials in 1984 and 88, and once beat Jackie Joyner-Kersee in an 800-meter race. What was it like to beat a track and field legend? Here's Cheryl's reaction.
It was exciting. I mean, she came up to me, she said, "I can't believe you ran that race." She said, "I wasn't prepared to run that fast." She said, "I didn't have it in my mind to run," but she said, "Girl, you ran that thing," and you know, she was like, "I'm proud of you." But I was kind of like, this is Jackie I'm talking to. I beat her in an event where, I mean, she's tops in all of them.
And getting a compliment from Jackie Joyner-Kersee, whew,
Pretty classy company, isn't it?
Well, Cheryl's mission right now is to hit that target located above Sky. If the Contenders can do that, it is worth 10 very important points. Again, our Contenders working against the clock. They've got 60 seconds to achieve their mission, and there it is behind Sky, the target.
High and wide.
Sky nearly takes off Cheryl's protective headgear. Cheryl nearly takes our microphones out of her hands here.
Whoa! She didn't aim that either. She just sort of fired it. Close.
Cheryl with the sweet feet, having no problems getting from station to station. Now 25 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time. That's that one.
Oh, she did it again!
Yeah, she got it right on the button. 10 more points for Cheryl Wilson, who continues to pour it on.
Here's the shot that does it. Looked like it was going to be a little high and to the right, but she hits the target, picks up 10 points in the process.
And cannot believe it. So Brenda Moss will need to duplicate that effort. You know, training for a lot of Contenders is a real drag, but not for Brenda Moss. She works on her speed by dragging a parachute. It's actually an innovation that is catching on around America. We'll tell you a little bit more about it later, but right now Brenda would like to utilize some of that newfound speed here in assault.
Gladiator, ready!
She's on her way. That one sails wide to the left. Brenda's still alive. 40 seconds left.
Whoa! Fires that rocket right at Sky. Sky loses her concentration for just a moment, and is right back.
Sky thought she had Brenda picked off once and knew at that time she had her for sure. So Brenda Moss can only come away with 2 points in assault and falls behind 53-37.
Sky with a shot. Grazes Brenda on the right hip.
A look at Saber behind that assault cannon. His motto, nothing to it but to do it. That's what he'll try to do to our two contenders. Bernie Miller is up first, the man from Vista, California. He must have spent the better part of last night, Larry, passing out free tickets, because nobody can have a family that big. All those Bernie signs back there.
A bunch of Bernie fans. They're cheering him on. Bernie tackled this event in the preliminary round, fought it to a draw, picked up 6 points in the process, but today he's after 10.
He's on cruise control right now. He leads 22-zip over Vince Granger.
The stuntman, great reactions, but he's got to look upfield. You can't take your eyes off of that cannon, Bernie. You did, and you be dead. Oh, one-shot Saber. Draws the bead on Bernie. Bernie dives trying to get in free. Right there, hit on the right ankle.
Saber, what were you just saying? There's a new sheriff in town. 3 seconds, my friend.
And his name is Saber, so you better beware. No speeding tickets in the Gladiator house.
And you're so nonchalant up there, man.
You feel all the energy that the fans are giving me? It's great. I don't even need to use my energy.
Nice work.
Thank you. Well, anyway, Mike, back to work.
Truly a man who loves his job. Now, Saber will try to dispatch of Mr. Granger as quickly as he did of Bernie Miller. For Vince's sake, I hope he gets some points here and scores, because this is getting a little embarrassing.
This is Vince's big move here, and he better make it. He's going to put too much emphasis on crunch time if he doesn't.
A much better athlete than the scoreboard has shown.
But he's making the same mistake that Bernie did. He's got to look upfield. He's got to keep his eyes on that cannon.
He does have 1 point, Larry.
Yes, and he has the cannon, Mike. Look out.
That one whizzes to the right side of Sabre. 25 seconds left to go. Vince sets himself. That one's got it. Hey, finally.
Out of the darkness into the light. Vince picks up 10.
And just like that, because Bernie Miller was shut out, Vince is back in the hunt here.
He's a pressure player. Came through when he had to.
He'll need to do it again. Next up, the maze.
It's good work.
Well, a maze awaits Cheryl Wilson, but not Brenda Moss. Unfortunately, she had to withdraw from the competition. So a look at her replacement, Julie Padelford, 31 years old from Miami of Florida, a firefighter and a paramedic. She lost in the preliminary round by just a point to Brenda. Cheryl Wilson, not quite sure who Julie is, scoping out the competition there. Julie does get Brenda's points, so she's right in the hunt here. For the Gladiators inside the maze, it'll be Zap, Storm, Siren, and Sky.
And oh, this maze is a long and winding road, me lad.
Only one solution.
Exactly right, and there it is. It looks easy when we map it out like this, but it's a whole nother ball game down there on the floor.
Here they go.
Cheryl with all that speed, but speed isn't necessarily the name of the game in this event. Reaction time.
Right now, Julie Padelford reacting pretty good. She squeezed by Siren, now gets by Zap. Look at, oh, where'd she go? She had it. She had it, she lost it, she had it, she lost it. And it allowed Cheryl Wilson to pop out first. Cheryl gets to 10 points. Julie will get 5. They both did it in the allotted time.
Well, let's take a look at Julie in the pink. All she has to do to get the 10 points is continue through Storm to the end of the maze. Here she goes towards pay dirt, but now watch what happens. She sees Storm, and instead of pushing her way past her, she retreats on a road to nowhere. This gives Cheryl the opening she needs, and Cheryl will take the 10 points. This is the kind of turnaround that really comes back to haunt you later on. Julie had the 10 points in her pocket, but retreated and gave Cheryl a very precious gift.
Well, Sabre gives no one any free passes in the maze. He'll be joined by Laser, Turbo, and Tower. Vince Granger was shut out in the first 4 events. He came to life in event number 5, the Assault. If he can get 10 here, he will be very much a threat to win it all.
Contenders ready! Gladiators!
Bernie not about to let that happen, however. Let's see what happens. What?
Hello, Turbo! Oh, that won't work.
Both following each other now.
Look at Turbo.
He gets a double pop on those two guys. Laser whacks Vince. Vince very close. I don't think he knows it. Tower's right there. He may have a direct outcome in this event. Whoa! 10 points for Vince Granger. 5 points for Bernie Miller. And Tower made him pay. A trip they won't forget.
I don't know whether the title maze is correct. This should be a walk in the park and a mugging. They're both smiling now, but right here, Tower's smiling a little bit, but Bernie certainly isn't.
Come on, Tower, get that smile off your face. I think you like this event far too much.
Mike, let me tell you something. You know, they had only 10 or so feet to go, so I figured I might as well just give it to them.
Vince, when the contenders look at this on the event sheet for the day, they go, maze. That should be a piece of cake, right?
Oh, yeah, everybody loves this. We love this part.
And Bernie, how about your trip through there?
Well, now I know what it feels like to be in a dark alley in New York City about 12 o'clock at night.
Hey, guess what? You both survived, even though Tower was a little rough on you. Nice going.
I love it. Love the pain.
Well, Bernie's fans love it. And they should like what's coming up next. It's crunch time. Stay with us.
Feel the power.
The opposition in Breakthrough and Conquer for our contenders. Electra in Breakthrough and Storm in the Conquering. It's crunch time here on the American Gladiators. We put all the emphasis on the physical. Julie Padelford, who came on as an alternate for Brenda Moss, who withdrew, trying to make the most of her second chance.
Get ready. Gladiator ready.
Julie's got good speed. There's the break, but there's no secondary effort. She didn't really put much of a head fake. You gotta give a little bit of a head fake, give him a knee, and then break away from it. She just leaned into it, and that wasn't good enough. Electra was right on the mark.
Electra goes head over heels about her performance.
Julie's got to get under those powerful arms of Storm.
Does not look like it's going to happen.
No, not up there. She's got to get underneath. There.
Oh, wait a minute. 2 seconds left. Storm, more Houdini than Dan Gable out there. I don't know how she was able to get away. Julie looked like she was going to pull her out, but in the nick of time, Storm pulled that leg away.
Storm being pushed right up to the edge of the conquer ring. Manages to get the leg away.
Well, Cheryl Wilson focused. She'll try to get by Electra in Breakthrough.
Contender ready. Gladiator ready.
Oh, Electra get upfield.
Electra didn't buy the move.
It was a great move by Cheryl. But Electra gets up to that 5-yard line. Cheryl wouldn't have been able to drag her across. She gave her 2 yards.
She just showed us another dimension of her athletic prowess. We knew she had speed and quickness. Now we find out she has power as well.
Electra just running out of room. She should have moved upfield.
Onto the conquer ring. Cheryl's got her hands full. Storm doing her darndest to keep Cheryl off.
Cheryl's
look
attacked.
at that!
Cheryl attacked her at her strength and beat her. It's hard to believe. She went high and drove Storm backwards out of the ring. Did a great job.
Unbelievable.
Great job boxing around there, using a strategy to get Storm close to the edge, and then she just threw it into full power.
Cheryl, the good news and the good news. The good news, you get 10 points for Breakthrough and Conquer. The other good news, you found your contact lens, I guess?
It was tough, let me tell you. I had my eyes closed the whole time. I don't know how the contact came out, but I hung in there.
Nobody takes you out of the conquering.
Well, I thought nobody did, but, you know, Cheryl proved herself, and so, you know, I give it to her. Give it to her fair and square.
Hey, we salute you, Cheryl Wilson. What a day. Things getting interesting in the men's competition where Bernie Miller holds just a 7-point lead on Vince Granger. Sabre will be in the conquer ring where he's a terror. In Breakthrough will be Laser. First up, Vince Granger. As a matter of fact, Laser is a force to be reckoned with in every single event. Laser commands respect from all challengers, but he's also respected by the other gladiators as a teammate and as a leader.
I don't have an ego. I don't think that I'm better than anybody else, so I think that's a lot of reasons why my teammates voted me team captain.
But when he's outside Gladiator Arena, you might find him off-road racing in a 4x4, or maybe working out with his good friend Tower. One of his favorite workouts is running with parachutes, an innovative way to build leg strength and speed.
I worked with him very hard in the off-season with Tower and I tell you, when you let the chute off, your speed is incredible.
Also count on Laser to lend a hand at charity events and bring his trademark of sportsmanship into the arena.
I'll always go over and shake the competitors' hands, which I think a lot of people look up to, and that's one thing I like about myself is that I take it very personally, but afterwards it's a different game.
Good man to have on your team.
And from whistle to whistle, he is all business. Vince Granger about to find that out.
Nice move. Oh, he lost his balance. I'll tell you what, he had Laser going. If he wouldn't have lost his balance, it would have been a real contest, that goal line.
Aggravated with himself. Had it made there, it appeared. Let's see what happens with Sabre in the conquer ring. Sabre having none of it.
Sabre doing a good job of not letting him get to his body underneath. Tough break.
Vince gave it everything he had, but he came up empty against Laser and Sabre.
Sabre, one tough cookie in that conquer ring. Seemingly at home, got those cat-like moves, and then on occasion just flings Vince to one side like he was a gnat.
Well, after that display by Laser and Sabre, Bernie Miller can't be too anxious to get started here in Breakthrough and Conquer. There's his girlfriend, Kathy, one of the many Bernie Miller fans in attendance here at Gladiator Arena.
Drive your weight off that. Let's see if he can do it. No. He didn't even make a really definite move. He just tried to blow by Laser, and that's not going to work. Laser likes that. He closes that gap up on the 5-yard line and met the contender full force right at the 5.
Now 15 seconds to see what he can do with Sabre. We're under 10. Bernie running out of clock. He's got Sabre's leg. But Sabre, yeah.
Wearing his glasses like Granny, but that's all right. They got knocked around, but he did a great job of keeping Bernie away from his body.
A colossus in that conquer ring. So Bernie Miller and Vince Granger get shut out in Breakthrough and Conquer, so the score remains a 7-point bulge for Bernie. He will take a 3.5-second head start into the Eliminator. The Eliminator is the final event here at Gladiator Arena, and in the women's race, track star Cheryl Wilson, despite being shut out in 2 events, has amassed a staggering 73 points, good enough for a 15.5-second head start on Miami's Julie Padelford. Now, Julie, remember, came on as an alternate for Brenda Moss, who had to withdraw, so she's just happy to be here. She's with Larry at the start line. Larry?
Julie, in your business of saving lives, I know 15.5 seconds is a very long time, but are you willing to throw your body in this?
You're darn right. You don't get second chances very often, and you got to take them for what they're worth when you get them and do the best you can.
That's all we can ask. Good luck.
Right. Thank you.
Julie, a firefighter and paramedic in Miami, Florida, also very active, helping out the many needy people after Hurricane Andrew struck. She will have her hands full, however. Cheryl Wilson has been dynamic. On course for the Gladiators. There they are. Having a good time in the penalty pit. It'll be Storm and zapping down the final straightaway, hoping to deter the contenders from the finish line. Sky and Electra operating the gauntlet. And the Eliminator is brought to you by Skittles Bite-Sized Candies. Also in Wildberry, Tart and Tangy, and Tropical. Cheryl with a 15.5-second head start. Quite frankly, only a major mistake on her part would give Julie Padelford a chance. Cheryl struggling with the hand bike. Could it be the break that Julie needs? Cheryl taking her time across that spinning cylinder. Here comes our firefighter, struggling up the treadmill. Cheryl all the way to the cargo net, now halfway up it. Julie closing in, however, making up some ground. That certainly didn't help. Cheryl on the zip line, the breezy ride. She should be home free. Over the first wall, playing it safe now. Ducking and dodging those big blocking dummies in the gauntlet. Over she goes, she's our winner. Cheryl Wilson moving on. And a fine effort by Julie Padelford.
Cheryl Wilson, you have performed perfectly all day long. You looked a little tired at the end of the Eliminator. Are you healthy?
I sure am, and I'm glad to be healthy. That's all I wanted to do is make it through, score a lot of points, and here I am.
You've done that, 73 points. Welcome to the next round of the competition, gal.
Thank you.
All right, Mike?
Cheryl has certainly served notice that she's one of the finest athletes we've ever seen here on the American Gladiators. And Julie goes to see her family. Nice work. In the men's heat, San Diego's Bernie Miller gets a 3.5-second jump start on Maryland's Vince Granger, but the rugby star has come on strong in the second half of the competition, and he promises to give our actor stuntman a heck of a race.
Vince Granger, at halftime, you were way behind. You came out and turned that around. Now you're staring at 3.5 seconds. Can you overtake that?
I hope so. Bernie's pretty tough, but I'm going to give it my best shot. That's all I can do.
Good
Work
enough.
as hard as I can.
Good luck.
All right.
Vince, shut out in the first 4 events, as we mentioned, has come on rather strong in the final 3. He has to make up a 3.5-second head start deficit. On course for our Gladiators. Ready to impose the penalty if need be. Yes, sir. The good friends Tower and Laser, and down the final straightaway. Getting things cooking. It'll be Turbo and Viper. Last chance for Vince Granger. One of these 2 men will advance to the semifinals. Bernie Miller, actor, stuntman, and great contender. Look at him smoke that hand bike. He'll need to make some kind of mistake against Vince for Mr. Granger to catch up. It may be happening on the cargo net. Bernie a little sloppy in his form and technique. Vince Granger catching up. Oh, he stumbles too. That may have cost him. Bernie Miller on the zip line. If he clears this wall, I think he's got it knocked. He does. Not before he was almost strangled by one of those blocking dummies, but Bernie Miller automatically advances to the semifinals.
Bernie, you're a mess, man. You're a stuntman. You've enjoyed every event today, haven't you?
Oh, I've enjoyed every of it, especially the maze when I got knocked around a little bit. I enjoyed that the most. The wall was pretty nice, but the Eliminator, that's the one I love the most.
And
it's the one where I can just do all out and go whatever. I got no interference at all. Just keep on and do it.
Well, you did, and welcome to the next round of the competition.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Bernie Miller. Mike?
Bernie's time, incidentally, Larry, 43 seconds. Vince's time, 45 seconds. Both men put forth excellent efforts. See you next week, everyone. Champions will receive all expenses paid Club Med vacations. With over 100 villages worldwide, Club Med offers the perfect vacation for families, couples, and singles. This year, take home a Club Med vacation.